So there are a lot of changes evolving in terms of a regulatory in India. So they provide the label guidelines properly.
Yeah.
How much sugar, how much nutritional information
Yeah.
you are using, you are having in your product need to be published clearly with the quantitative measurement. If anybody, any manufacturer located in India wants to sell their product into US, the API need to be followed the USP pharmacopoeia.
USP pharmacopoeia.
Excipient need to be followed the USP pharmacopoeia. This is a thumb rule. The regulatory is not just to do the dossier. It's need to give the proper the guidance to the management, to the supply chain, to the analytical development team. Even we can do the cost efficient for excipient and the API as well without compromising quality. There is a way in the regulatory. But majorly the Indian drug manufacturer and China drug manufacturer, these two are the biggest player in the generic actually.
Yeah. On today's fireside chat, we have Pushpa Krishnamurthy, a global head for regulatory affairs for a company called Ingredient. So, Ms. Pushpa, welcome to Pharma Now. Thanks for joining us. I think your journey, I've gone through your profile and we were talking. I think it's really incredible. So, for our audience, I really wanted to understand how you started and how you have achieved this position right now, and what is your role?
Sure. Thanks for inviting me for this session. It's my pleasure to talk about the regulatory profession and how it is important in the pharma industry, and the navigating the regulatory principle, how add value in the mankind. It's my privilege to talk about that. And I'm Pushpa Krishnamurthy, basically out of southern part of India. Currently lives in Bangalore.
So southern part means which part?
Bangalore.
You're from Bangalore. Okay.
Yes, I'm from Bangalore, and I'm basically a pharmacist, master in pharmacy, and I started my career as a quality control and quality assurance chemist based out of Chennai research lab, contract research lab it is. So then moved to the regulatory at OCAT Limited, where I have been explored for the global international regulatory, especially for the biosimilars. Then I moved to South African based MNC Atka Kingram, where I was majorly working for variation filings, so which was totally new profile than the earlier two profile. Right. So the OCAD, I was been with the biosimilar, which is new formulas, BLA's formulas, as well as the ANDA formula for the Europe registration and the ROW market. But in Atka Kingram, it is a variation for all the portfolios like a prescription, OTC, consumer health, everything. Then narrowing down. Yeah, then after a few years, I was become a portfolio leader for a prescription, especially the generic and women's health portfolio. So, and the Adcock has many products already registered, more than 1,200 products in the generic portfolio, and more than 150 products in the women's health portfolio. They were providing to the global supply chain. Yeah, so our office put up in Bangalore, which called as a back office to the front office. The front office located in Midrand, South Africa. So the team located in the Bangalore supporting all the global variation, which provided me the very prospective knowledge from the supply, from the RM supplies to the global marketing. What are all the changes happening? How need to capture those changes in the regulatory? What if we can still keep alive the formula? That is what important. So this thing actually I got a very good learning from my all the work what I delivered, and I also become a master into that variation, I can say, because of the key training session providing by the Atka Kingram. It's a wonderful company. I have learned a lot through the variations. So each variation I considered as a book. That much we have actually bought.
Correct.
Yeah.
Do that.
Then I moved to Chennai from for a startup company. So from the global MNC, again I moved to the startup because the managing director of that company requested me to support, as he invested lot on the ground. It was just a building,
Okay.
didn't get approval from any authority that time.
Right.
So he asked me to support. Then I actually, it was very new role for me, working with the MNC, India-based MNC, Okada, and the South Africa-based MNC, Atka Kingram, going back again to the
the
ground
startup.
level,
Yeah.
shop level. Okay. Then I was on a board at a Sunglow Life Science, which is actually subsidiary of Adira Medica LLC, US and Australia, and which was OTC, the plant aimed for produce the OTC medication initially, and
Okay.
got the TGA Australia approval when I was joined at the time of joining. Then I again, there was a 7 product on that site. Then while I'm leaving, we got more than 150 product license approval.
Wow.
And the presence of a product taking more than 20 countries globally. So
Wow.
we worked for, we took the product approval from the TGA, then MedSafe, New Zealand. Then we also took register our product to the some Western African countries, Eastern African countries, and Costa Rica, Peru. We touched the Latin countries, Mexico. So I was instrumentally worked developing the regulatory principle for the Sunglow, and because of that, I got an opportunity to oversee the national regulatory as well, which was not the earlier case. I was an
Right.
international regulatory, but at Sunglow, because of the enthusiasm, I got an opportunity to work with the CDSCO, DCGI,
Correct.
import
Yeah.
license, and the state FDA. So it was a very good opportunity for me when I moved with. I was taking that role as well for the 2
So
production plants.
which experience was nice? Working with the Indian agencies or international agencies?
No, this is very tricky question. I can say both are important.
Okay.
Both are important. So I didn't know much about what I know, only theoretical knowledge, right?
Yeah.
As I was a student of India, right?
Yeah.
So I know what is the CDSCO principle theoretically. So when it
Correct.
comes into the practical, I realized we were into very backward compared to the international regulation. So whatever the chances happen, I used to spoke. So initially it was considered very arrogancy, but over the period, it was welcomed by our, the drug department, and they provided us the insight what international regulatory needed to put it in the plant related to the drug law of India. It was
Correct.
very
Yeah.
benefitful for us. So initial, it was like, my managing director afraid to send me to the drug office because of, no, you are international. If you talk, people will not appreciate. But it was changed over the time period. Within 6 months, I can say.
Okay.
Within 6 months, it was changed. And I also observed since 2018, there was lot of initiation taken by our CDSCO, and they come front, both the CDSCO, that is the central, right? And they joined with the state FDA together. They put lot of programs in each state.
Yeah.
So I got an opportunity to attend those kind of a program and expressed what actually needed to upgrade the guideline. So I gave few of my thoughts on what is needed in the stability guideline for India. It was happened 2019 one meeting,
Okay.
right? So it's very good.
So I heard after COVID, I think the whole agencies are become very active and
Very
started moving very
active, and
fast.
yes, see, keep on our the drug control department get evolving to revising the guideline. So earlier scenarios got changed now lot.
Yeah.
Actually, now we have a separate guidelines for the medical devices, which was not there for past 5 years. It blooming like anything, and a lot of revisions are there for the import regulations. right? And they are doing the proper categorization on the import regulations. And the Cocotte Committee always giving what is the listed drugs need to be upgraded for the considered as a new drug and the the approved drug.
Yeah.
So those are keep working. So there are a lot of changes evolving in terms of a regulatory in India.
Correct.
It is actually welcoming by the industry,
Right.
and the industry is also gaining confidence. And another important thing, the label climb. Label plays a major role.
Yeah.
And even yesterday also, it's an interesting fact, our FSSI is a food safety
yeah.
standard,
Yeah.
right? So they released one publish stating about all the food company needs to provide the proper label. The misclaimed label
Yeah.
should not be there, right?
And
So
that's a
this
big
is
problem we have in our country.
we have now. So they provide the label guidelines properly.
Yeah.
How much sugar, how much nutritional information
Yeah.
you are using, you are having in your product need to be published clearly
Clearly.
with the quantitative measurement. This is yesterday actually published.
Yeah.
So why this is just
It's a
an
very bold
example.
step. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is now happening in FSSI, but 5 years back itself happened in the pharma. They put a stronger label compliance. We have in the in our Drug and Cosmetic Act, there is more than 12 schedules are there. So Schedule H drug, this only need to be keep. Schedule M need to be keep like this. Schedule G need to be keep like this. Likewise, we also have. Now we are giving our government officials are giving more, the education to the industry. So these need to be followed as a
Yeah.
label. And now how the USFDA has the label compliance. So that is a separate chapter to them. The same way how the 21 CFR label compliance, the same way our drug and cosmetic also giving the label compliance to the industry. It is welcoming by industry as
Wow.
well.
Wow. That's
And
nice.
we are our country every country have the pharmacopoeia, right?
Yeah,
It's a
of course,
pharmacopoeia.
of course.
Pharmacopoeia plays the major role in the drug market, I can
Right,
say.
right.
Okay, if anybody, any manufacturer located in India wants to sell their product into US, the API need to be followed the USP pharmacopoeia.
USP pharmacopoeia.
Excipient need to be followed the USP pharmacopoeia. This is a thumb rule.
Correct.
Okay, if other pharmacopoeia material used, they need to justify and they need to provide the proper method to their dossier.
Correct.
Okay, so this is how. Okay, so our manufacturers have a very much knowledge on what is the USP recommendation, what is the PHUR recommendation, what is the BP recommendation. PHUR for the API, BP for the final product. Okay, so these recommendations they are keeping in mind and they are always looking the online everything. Okay, but comes to the India, what is happening? We are using the IP grade material. Okay, IP grade material we are using. Few manufacturers, they are following the same standard, irrespective of whether they are using, for example, magnesium stearate. Magnesium stearate, if they are procuring magnesium stearate USP or if they are procuring magnesium stearate IP or a PHUR, they keep the standard, multi-compendial standard in their lab for their incoming raw material and they used to test as per their standard.
Yeah.
Right? It is a very good practice. This is what I actually recommended when I was at a Sangli.
Okay.
Right? So multi-compendial COA for our own manufacturing. So we don't have any compromise when we produce the medicine for the domestic market and for the export market. So
Correct.
what is the product to be exported to Costa Rica have the
Same
same
product
magnesium
will come to
stearate,
India.
and for India same magnesium stearate.
Yeah.
This is important.
Yeah.
This is where the regulatory stands. The regulatory is not just to do the dossier. It's need to give the proper the guidance to the management, to the supply chain, to the analytical development team, the costing ratio. Because when we talk about the API, we are think quality.
Yeah.
But when we are talk about excipient, we are thinking about cost efficient.
Yeah.
This needs to be changed. Even we can do the cost efficient for excipient and the API as well without compromising quality. There is a way
Yeah.
in the regulatory.
Correct.
So regulatory needs to be involved in all the the management reviews. It's the management review. It's not only for the supply chain and the marketing and the R&D, but if you involve the regulatory also in the management review, they can provide from top to bottom. I mean, from the RM to the marketing, business development, what are all the best practices, give the betterment in the cost reduction process.
So basically, regulatory is not just a documentation or some
This
kind
is
of
not
rule.
just a documentation. This is a principle.
Yeah, it's a good practice rather.
Good practice.
Yeah.
So the regulatory is not only the dossier,
Correct.
it gives what is regulation stand. Why we are telling US FDA audits as a regulatory body audit,
Yeah,
right?
of
It's a
course.
regulatory body audit,
Yeah.
right? So the regulatory needs to understand the quality principle. So
Correct.
the quality and the regulatory is not a separate
Separate
actually,
things, yeah.
right? If we see 15 years ago, there was no department call it as a regulatory.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Okay.
when I was worked at a Kesel Research Laboratory in Chennai, which was a contract research lab, I was a QC, I was a QA. Morning do the RM sampling, afternoon doing the in-process sampling, after night doing the final product sampling,
Yeah.
and making a report the
I
next
think that
day.
gives you a lot of exposure, right? In every step.
Obviously. So involvement.
Yeah.
Involvement. No need to think, oh, this is not my job, then we will not grow.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
Right? Involvement and dedication and whatever we put like the owner mindset. So care first what we are doing, right? And then innovate what we are doing, innovate boldly. Innovation is not just chemicals innovation. Innovation, you can even do the documentation
Yes.
innovation.
The innovation is in everything. Whatever
Everything.
we do.
Everything. So innovate boldly.
Yeah.
That is another principle need to apply in the work, right? And keep the ethical standard.
Yeah.
Not to be afraid to talk what we are thinking is right,
Correct.
but put it in a resilient way.
Right.
People will listen if you
Yes.
talk resilient,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And then owner mindset.
Yeah, I think owner mindset is a very important stuff
Yes.
because right now most of the industry is facing the same challenge. Like people are leaving early, the attrition is very high, they are not ready to take responsibilities.
And be inclusive. Another important thing. Be integrate. Be inclusive
Correct.
on the project.
Correct.
Okay, so when we show, when the employees exhibit these type of a characteristic, it definitely be welcomed by the management.
Yes.
And it provides the good relationship
Certainly.
between the management and the
Certainly. So on this note, I want to take you back to your role in Ingredient.
Yes.
So let me understand more. I think you are doing some wonderful job in excipient area. So wanted to know more about that.
Yes, definitely. So all up to my the Sunglow position is a drug product regulatory. Then
Yeah.
during the COVID situation, I sit back and I resigned from the job to take care of the family, which was
Yeah.
located apart. Then I become a freelance consultant. Then few of the cosmetic industry and excipient industry approached me to help them the importing. Right. So that time, Ingredient India Private Limited, they approached me. It would be great to them if help them the import regulation for their excipient profile.
Okay.
So then when I provided my the regulatory strategy to them, they got inspired and they provided me the chance and they took me to on board as a global regulator.
Wow, it's a big role.
Yes, global regulator. So they found it's more useful, not only the import regulation, I can also contribute for the other side, put the strong regulatory standard, as they wanted that time to become a manufacturer in India. So they were in the mood to do the technology transfer from the US side to India,
Okay.
right? So that was the right time I was on board. Now I become a global, the global leader for the pharmaceutical business.
Okay.
Pharmaceutical business for a regulatory.
But then for excipient company, how regulatory is impacting and are the
Yes.
terms are different?
It's play wonder.
Okay.
The regulations play wonder in excipient industry. So
Okay.
now you can see Ingredion India Private Limited changed their title as an import company to
Yeah.
the manufacturer company.
Correct.
Okay, so I supported them on the technology transfer from the US side. So the US sides are the food lines.
Yeah.
So here I supported them to qualify the excipient production industry.
Yeah.
So I put down the GMP practices, what need to be practiced in the pharmaceutical excipient manufacturer, and educated them what need to be followed with respect to the regulation, and to transfer the food product as an excipient.
Okay.
So, how it is possible? It is possible because referring the monograph. So,
Okay.
the same food starch also there in the excipient, as an excipient in the USP commission, in the PHUR commission, in the CHP commission, in the Indian Pharmacopoeia. So, what is the additional test parameter need to be tested? What is the limit need to be keep stringent
Okay.
for the product, and what is the operational standard need to be keep it in plant. So these education provided them as a manufacturer status. Then we also done the acquisition on company, call it as a Amishi Drugs and Chemicals.
Okay.
So we expand our portfolio from the starch to other specialty chemicals.
Okay.
And we also have done the joint venture with the MB Sugar. Now it is called it as, Manitep Specialty Private Limited, exclusively doing the advanced technology spray drying.
Okay.
And in India, spray dry mannitol only imported.
Okay.
But now, Ingredion is the first company manufacturing for a domestic use and exporting the spray dry mannitol. So
Wow.
we are the first player in the market.
Wow.
We are, manufacturing. Otherwise, the spray dry mannitol majorly importing from the South America and the Malaysia to India.
Right,
Now
right.
we become the first player for the spray dry is advanced technology. Right. So we have the spray dry lactose, but majorly the Indian drug manufacturer and China drug manufacturer, these two are the biggest player in the generic actually.
Yeah.
So the
yeah.
top one is the China, top two generic players are the US, and top three generic players are the India. This is the order actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and even if you see the US companies, majorly they release the India pool, India talent pool in their unit.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. Okay. So now becoming the excipient regulator, my major role stands on what is the specification need to be meet the all global standard. As we are the global supplier, we are supplying, covering the 5 regions of the world. Right?
How many countries might be? 120 or?
Yes, Ingredion presence is in 120 countries. In that 120 countries,
And you are supplying the product from like your manufacturing factories.
yes. So now let me only specific about the excipient. For the excipient, we have the 4 production plant at USA, which also sharing the food. So
Correct.
there is no specific line. So the same line we are using for the food as well as the another line for the pharma. I mean, put up the same plant.
Yeah,
So there is a 4 plant majorly we are supplying globally for a excipient. Then in Europe, German, we have 1 plant. And South America, we have a 2 plant for the excipient. And in APAC, we have a plant in India, 5 production plant.
5 plants,
There is a 2 production owning. So Amishi Drugs and Chemicals and Manitep, our own plant. And we also have the 3 contract manufacturing unit as our partners. And then still we are evolving for the other big opportunity to investing in India.
Yeah,
This is there. It's in confidential, but it is
Yeah,
there.
smart.
We are doing the pipeline to expand our portfolios.
Yeah.
And in China, again, 3 plants we have, our own plant 1 and 2 contract manufacturing sites. And Thailand, we have our own production. So these many production lines that exclusively producing the pharmaceutical excipient. So these pharmaceutical excipient need to be followed. And our strategy is multi-competia. We are not following one standard. We always look. My majority role is looking all the pharmacopoeia standard and doing the comparison. What is the method if we put for our product, give the highest standard? What is the specification limit we need to keep as a highest stringent limit? What quality parameter we need to keep additionally as a in-process testing? So designing the specification, designing the product quality, designing the the best QMS practices, and designing the label compliance to meet all the global individual health authority needs. So that is so from, and what is the RM we need to procure for our material? What type of a standard we need to minimize the risk of our product quality, and supporting the our end use customer? What if we put as a risk assessment which can be given benefit to the end use customer? For example, nitrosamine threat, elemental impurity threat or more. And always drug product manufacturer, it is a headache for them. If excipient and API have the more residual solvent content,
Correct.
if it is more elemental impurity content, if it is more any nitrosamine content, it directly having a poor quality in the drug product.
Yeah.
So in Ingredion, I put a strong guideline in a place, call it as a risk assessment on the final excipient. Okay, so defined the protocol. How many parameters need to be tested, and what is the criteria to test this parameter? What is the best method to test this parameter, and how we can interpret this result as a report, as a declaration to the global customer uniformly. So everybody follows the different. The European guidelines says different. The US guidelines says different. So we are actually providing material to European distributors as well, Europe distributors as well, and we have the Thailand distributor, Indonesia distributor. Majorly we are conducting directly the distributor than the end use customer. If we say 20 to 30% end use customer, the remaining are distributor. So we have a very good relationship with the distributor. We are giving them the training session exclusively, what we are doing, what is the regulatory standard putting in place, and we are releasing the excipient information package, that is like a dossier.
Yeah.
How the drug product industry providing dossier to the health authority.
Yeah.
We need to do the two things. One is excipient information package, which inclusive 40 documentation. You can even see those documentation list in our website as well. Ingredion Pharma Solution, that is a website. This is another website from the mother company Ingredion. Ingredion has a website for a food and industrial, but Ingredion Pharma Solution has a website only talks about the pharmaceutical excipient, what regulation we are following. Okay. So 40 documentation we are keep it readily for whatever the 35 product I mentioned. So it is giving the ready-made knowledge on the regulation, what needed for our customer. This is one. And we are also doing the drug master file registration to Canada, US, and whatever the countries our customer wants to register us, because some of the country drug product dossier need to be reviewed by the health inspectors, I mean the regulator, along with the API DMF file, excipient DMF file. So customer are asking us, can you please register? Then we are registering the drug master file. How the API drug master file there, like the way type 4 DMF there for the excipient.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so we are also actually registering what is RM we are using, what is in-process control, what is the stability, what is the process validation protocol, and what is the safety measures, toxicological report, everything we are actually providing in the DMF, which can be assessed by the health authority in line with the drug product dossier filing by our end use customer. Then together, our excipient also approved and the drug product dossier also approving. Then the drug product people are giving us the commercial order. So we are traveling along with them to get their commercial, order. So
how you do all this stuff?
yeah, when it's
Do you
actually when
have a large side team or how it is?
I built the team.
Oh,
I built the team. I was joined a single, then I built the team. So now I'm managing the 3 different portfolios. One is the registration portfolio. In the registration, the DMF filing, variation filing, query response, and annual report filing, and import regulation, custom clearance, all this. So this is one team. Another one team exclusively addressing the customer requirement and developing the excipient information package, talking with the plant quality, getting the document, putting into the shape, making a tailor and put it into the excipient information package in line with the current regulation, updating that to do the version control, uploading to the pharma website, and address each questions by the customer related to the quality regulatory, and managing the audit request, and do the quality agreement, and talk with all the regulators of the drug product end user. What is importance of making the agreement, the quality agreement to them, not for us. It is benefitful to them.
Yeah,
And importance of the risk assessment. So these two are the two, and I mean a rapid response team for the customer perspective, and the documentation team, excipient information package, and the DMF registration team. So apart from that, I'm also doing the regulatory intelligence, where I'm associating with all the health authorities and the forum, and collecting the knowledge, sharing the knowledge, keep the team appraised, the management team appraised about what changes we need to put it in the plant. So all these, ensuring the product quality and safety.
So you're wearing a lot of hats. So moving towards the closing note, the regulatory part, I think it is becoming very important, and a lot of people are getting well aware about this. And rather, a lot of Indian companies are now trying to get into the export market, becoming a MNC. So regulatory for all the standards are very important. So what are the opportunity areas now for the young pharma aspirants in this domain?
Yeah. As I mentioned, there are many areas there within the regulatory. Call it as a regulatory registration, regulatory intelligence, and the documentation specialist. Other area, call it as a RIM. RIM is a is a database. It's basically database.
What is the full form?
I can say it's information management, regulatory information management.
Oh, okay.
It's a many company like a Paraxel, IQVA. These are all acting as a regulatory consultant to the many companies.
Oh, okay.
So regulatory become a consultation firm actually.
Achha.
So for example, many global players, they providing outsourcing the regulatory to these kind of consulting firm. And a few industry build their own regulatory, because the regulatory, as I mentioned, is a very vast area.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm also actually maintaining the mini consultant for my all this. You asked how you are managing, because using the outsourcing as well.
Okay.
One of the things.
Okay.
And I found India is a knowledge pool. India is the pharma talent pool.
Yeah.
It become a pharma talent pool.
Yeah.
That is the reason Ingredion is a US based company actually transferring the pharma from the US production plant to investing into India. So we become the center of excellence for pharma.
Wow.
Not only for a production and operation, because of the regulatory changes, and upgrade the knowledge of the regulatory more in the young talent from the pharma students, right? So we become a center of excellence for pharma even within Ingredion.
Correct.
Right? We are showing, and we put the application lab in India. Right? Innovation and application lab in India, because of the pharma students are more, the talents are more available from India.
Yeah.
So giving them the best opportunity to work as a global innovation company and regulatory company.
Wow.
This is because Indian government also coming front and understanding the global regulatory knowledge.
Right.
The best example, previous year, Indian pharmacopoeia become also harmonized, one of the harmonized pharmacopoeia. Earlier it was USPNF and Health Canada, as well as the PHUR, BP, now JP. These are all the harmonized pharmacopoeia. Now Indian pharmacopoeia also become that harmonization chair. So this evolving emerging trends in India, getting the pool, Indian talent pool, these two are important. And we can, the Indian student, we can, if we keep the regulatory knowledge as one of the subject in the undergraduate itself, would become more useful to pharma students.
Certainly.
We have learned more on the the statistic, technology,
Yeah.
pharmacology, and all the thing. So as we studied more on pharmacology, we also become the pharmacovigilance. But if we keep study about the regulatory, there is a lot of opportunity to make a master in pharmacy regulatory affairs as a separate stream. Then we can give lot of changes to the world actually.
Fantastic. I think this was a really wonderful talk, and the knowledge what you are carrying about regulatory is really appreciable, and the message also very important. So thanks for talking to us, and thanks for coming on the Pharma Now.